My home is where tobacco grows, near cornrows and Olo grows. That's where I will be tonight, in that old tobacco town. Tobacco town, tobacco town. Think I'll head on down to tobacco town.
Well, here we go. Episode 2.
Episode 2.
We're back here last night. Gonna, kind of follow up. I'm the Jew.
I'm
As
Jic.
with me always, the Jic. And we're gonna just kind of kick off, talk a little bit about last week, recap a little, the last meeting we had down here. Really great.
Yeah, I was happy with how it went. Like I said, my dad can get pretty long-winded, so it was nice for him to be able to talk for an hour. And we had a lot of great feedback from pretty much anybody I've talked to.
Yeah,
it was great.
Everybody I've talked to, the community's been really supportive of this. Extremely kind of excited about just hearing the old stories, hearing what people are doing with their places of business, and that's kind of what we aim for, was to go out there and get some of these stories down and talk to some owners here. So
I talked to a few people, just running into Piggly Wiggly. I think I talked to Jesse Seaver, that he was really excited about just the fact that we were doing something on like the history of Edgerton and promoting businesses in general. And so like I said, I haven't heard one bad thing about it.
No,
really.
No. The only thing I've heard is we need to introduce ourselves a little bit better, that kind of thing. So again,
I guess though I had negative feedback from Theron about, because I don't look at the camera that much, but I really don't give a shit what he says.
Exactly. Well, the other
it really
Jew.
Doesn't matter. Yeah, I mean
the other Jew.
Yeah.
So
anyways,
what's new?
Not much.
So you ran the.
Yeah, I ran the Cinema 10 mile this last weekend, which was a lot of fun. Not only do I support all the festivals in Edgerton, but I'm Norwegian myself, so we every year go up to Cinema. It's one of my favorite times. So I went up Friday night to watch the canoe race, which Kohler did. And I didn't know
Kohler
Stettler did the canoe race last weekend, and I didn't know that until Paulson actually told me that. I thought it was Kohler, but he must have dropped some pounds or something like that, because I just didn't recognize him. So
how'd he do?
I don't know what place he came in, but because it's kind of hard to keep track of who's what. But it seems like a really cool event. So I talked to Greg Vidioli, and me and him might do it next year. So
that'd be awesome.
Yeah. So other than that, that's really all I did last weekend. Just kind of went out and about and everything. And like I said, I was here for the jam, which we had a great turnout.
That was amazing.
On Sunday. That was a ton of fun.
It was one of the better jam sessions I've been at.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, unfortunately, it was under the circumstances. It was, but it was a great jam, and it was a good Sunday. So,
and a great segue into our first guest.
Yeah,
first guest here, Terry Nottestead, owner of Last Night Bar and Grill, and we'd like to give her an opportunity to come on and talk about our bar. So, welcome. Thanks for being a part of this.
Thank you.
So, what's new in Last Night Bar and Grill in your world? You've owned it for a year now.
Had it for a year.
And what possessed you to buy a bar?
I worked 23 years at the post office, and I didn't think I could do another 17. So
time to make something here, huh?
Yep. So it's time for a change.
Something that attracted you to this bar?
I worked here 27 years ago.
Really?
What was the name of it then?
Julie's Come Back In.
It was Come Back In.
Yeah,
it kind of reminds me of last weekend. We're trying to figure out, trying to put a timeline on all the different names that this place was, but it was that Comeback. Okay.
Julie had the Comeback for 10 years, and then Greg Clark had the Sand Trap for 16 years.
Now, did you help him out at all while he owned it?
No, I came in here, but I didn't bartend here then.
So you've been coming to here for quite a few years now. And it just felt like home to you?
Well, yeah, and there was a lot of the same customers. I mean, the customer base was still the same, pretty much.
Right.
So it was
easy transition.
Kind of nice.
So what have you, since you've bought the bar, what have you done with it that makes it different coming here, visiting you guys versus the way it used to be as the Comeback?
It's kind of more like the old Comeback now. I basically kind of just changed it back.
Yeah.
Right.
Did Greg have food when he was here?
Yes.
He did.
Yep.
Okay. Anything new that you changed? I mean, did you change the menu completely? Or?
Yeah. Well, not completely, but we get fresh burger from Sorg's.
Nice.
And most of the food we have, some of it may be a little expensive compared to others, but I've been to a lot of bars, and I chose my menu off what I liked from other places.
Oh, nice. I've had it a little bit down here. It's delicious.
Yeah, well, absolutely. And it seems like you just kind of did a little more when it comes to having bands here than what used to be. I mean, I know Tatter's played here a handful of times now, and you're having the jam. Can you tell us more about that, or where you came up with that idea, or that just kind of happened?
I've had a couple of bands that aren't local necessarily, but most of them are. I don't know, I shop at Piggly Wiggly a lot. I go to Deacon's Hardware a lot. I try to support back into Edgerton.
Well, this is what everybody should be doing.
Absolutely.
It's wonderful to hear people talk about that. Cassie, I was talking to her Friday night a little bit. She was asking kind of a little bit about the podcast, what it is, what it's for, and then kind of just talking to her a little bit about what we were going to do tonight. And she was kind of telling me one of the things that you really try to create down here is more of a relaxed, comfortable atmosphere. Is that something you want to expand on, or like a homey atmosphere?
Yeah.
I guess is how she put it.
Pretty much when you walk in here, even if you don't know everybody here, somebody's going to say hi to you. I've been to other places where that's not really the case, and I don't like it. I don't like it when you walk in the door somewhere and everybody turns around and looks at you, but nobody says anything to you.
Right. Okay.
Well, I've definitely noticed the services extremely well.
It is.
You're not waiting too long or anything like that.
But all the bartenders say hi.
Yeah.
They're right there if you need a drink.
Yeah. And they can remember what you drink, too.
Yes. That's so important. So important.
You know, I'll come down here on like a Sunday, though, watch the jams, and then I'll drink 64. So the bartender today was like, well, wait a minute here. Won't you drink 64? I go, you'll learn that it's only on Sunday.
Only on Sundays, because we got to get up Monday morning.
Got to get up in the morning.
But the other thing I like about coming down here, though, the bar owner is out talking to you. You know, you and Mike make yourself very available to come down and talk to, and are supportive of people that do show up down here. And we had a blast down here Saturday night.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
Good.
How did the day go for you?
Really
it was
good.
your 1 year anniversary party on,
Yep.
on the 19th, and had a carrying crud down here, and had Gas Can Alley.
Yeah.
You want to talk about the day, how that went for you?
It went really good.
What all did you do during the day?
We had 50-50 raffles, which half goes to the food pantry.
Oh, nice. Very
And like when we did our grand opening in October because it took us a while to get food,
Sure.
and the 50-50 we did then went to the Gifts for Kids.
Oh, even better.
So-
Supporting local charities.
Yeah.
That's great. Cool. Anything that you want future patrons, people that don't know about your business down here, to know? What do you want to tell the community?
Well, I don't know. We try to make everybody feel welcome. We're gonna try to do new things and see how they work.
What
Right
kind-
now-
do you have ideas what you're wanting to try?
Well, they want to do karaoke once a week, and then of course the jam session once a week. We want to start running some bands on Saturday, but I don't know if we're gonna do that through the summer
Sure.
this year. I bought the inside of this building, but I didn't buy the outside. So I have 1 year to come up with the money to buy the outside of the building.
Okay.
So as far as we've already put a ton of money in it, so I've been told that I have to be careful.
Right.
Okay.
So,
Right.
but hopefully next year in May we will buy the building and then we can do more.
Sure. So what's hope for year two? What's the one thing that you hope to happen here in year two?
Well, I just hope that people continue to come in and, things go well. It would be really nice if, when I decide I want to retire, one of my kids will come in here.
Sure. And how many kids do you have?
I have 2.
2 kids. Okay.
Yep.
2 daughters, a boy and a
No,
daughter?
I have a son. He works every other Friday night here.
Okay.
Because he has another job. And then I have a daughter, and she's in school, so.
Cool.
Finishing up.
Cool.
All right.
Well, yeah, thanks for coming on, and I guess we'll take a short break here,
Yeah.
and we'll get Tatter up here. And
All right.
we'll go
Thank
into
you.
that. Yeah, thank you for coming on.
Yep.
Well, thanks for coming on, Tad.
No problem, guys.
Yeah.
Cool you guys are doing a podcast.
Yeah,
Our
absolutely.
producer.
Yes, our new
Tanner's
producer.
our official producer.
Our official producer. Whatever that means. Yeah, I mean, that can mean a
That means a
host of
whole
things.
lot of things.
So I guess our idea was to kind of just bring Tads on and talk about how he got into music and, where he sees things going and kind of what he remembers about just playing at all the bars he's been in. So I think you kicked it off with Eric in 2011?
Yeah.
Or 10 or
2011,
Okay.
it was, at the Anchor Inn. I remember doing like karaoke out at Anchor on Friday nights. The old Anchor, obviously.
Yeah, the old
was kind of a fun little spot, in like the winter time.
Mm-hmm.
Started off out there and do a little karaoke and then head back to the Bear.
Well, yeah, absolutely.
But
Friday night?
I remember, going out there, and John was like, "Trevor said you want to play out here." I'm like, "Yeah, I mean, we could do it." And he's like, "All right," and we just hooked it up. And our first gig was the Super Bowl. Packers won the Super Bowl.
Absolutely. Thompson, you were in great shape that night.
I was in fine shape. I actually was, because I watched the Packers win the Super Bowl. I watched it at my dad's house because the one time I didn't, they lost to the Broncos, so I'll never not watch it at my dad's house. So probably not going to drink a whole lot at my dad's house and drive home.
Sure.
But, yeah.
We watched it at the
Decoy after the gig.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. I don't know why we did that.
Because John Schulte's a huge Steelers fan.
I think
I don't know. There was something.
And
There was some
Brian.
other reason.
I know there was free food.
Well, yeah.
Well, of course, he's going to throw a party down there. He does every
I don't know.
year.
I think we'd been watching games out there or something, and we just,
yeah.
I don't know. You guys are all superstitious about where you watch the game.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
We watched a lot of it at Vickers' mom and dad that year.
I don't know.
I'm
just making stuff here.
Well, yeah.
I'm not a huge sport. I don't follow sports that much. I like sports, but
I'm kind of the same boat. I mean, I'll follow the Packers, but I couldn't tell you when the Brewers would be on next. So I'm sorry, old man, but I couldn't tell you that. I guess I follow the Tigers.
Yeah. I mean, you follow local teams because they're fun to watch, and
and you
we
can
talked
go to
about
them
it
for
last
free.
week. You can go for free, drink beer, eat brats to your
Yeah.
heart's content, watch a good game, people you know.
Yeah,
Of course, you're gonna follow that.
yeah.
So the Tigers are. I follow them the most closely.
So when John came to you and said, "Tats, you want to start playing out here?" Did you have already a set of songs that you were kind of rehearsing already, or?
Not like a real set, no.
Yeah.
But I called Eric, my cousin, and I'm like, we can get a real gig if you want to do the acoustic thing.
Mm-hmm.
So him and I had been playing together a lot, just jamming together, and he had a couple friends that we jammed with, and that was a lot of fun, like full band. And it just it didn't work. We didn't have a regular bass player, and we didn't have direction, I guess.
Sure.
It's too bad because there's a lot of talent in that band, but this was a little bit more simple to start it out anyways. And, it's 2 people, it's just, and me and my cousin too. How easy is that? So, yeah, we practiced hard for, I remember I went over to his place on a Saturday, and we were there for 7 hours just going over these
Was this
tunes.
before the first gig?
Yeah. And I remember before the first gig, he came over. We got everything loaded up and stuff, and we were both super nervous. I think we were going through a lot of beers during that first gig just to take the edge off. And then our second gig, I think, was at Anchor 2, maybe. I think it was at Anchor 2. I think it was at Anchor as well on a Friday night or something, and I think we went through an 18-pack a piece, just hammering them.
Yeah.
Just I don't know. Just right away it was like kind of nervous. But
I was at the first gig, and it was a good time to have that first gig because it was out at Anchor. The Packers in the Super Bowl. Everybody started going out that day at like probably 9 in the morning.
Sure.
So Anchor was just shit packed.
Yeah. The old Anchor.
The old Anchor. yeah. I mean, this little divey bar that it was, but it was just absolutely packed. And
Do you remember the first song you opened with?
No, I couldn't tell you.
I
know we made a set list for when we first started doing it. We don't even make a set list anymore.
Right.
It just comes on the fly, you know.
Sure.
But yeah, I mean, and the drinking has settled down a little bit too during gigs. I mean, I'm gonna have a few, but it wasn't like that. So I don't get very nervous before gigs anymore.
When did that change, you think?
I think when we started playing in a full band, you know, then it was, you know, there's a little bit more going on. I don't know. I was probably just grew up a little bit too. That was 7 years ago. How old am I? I don't know. That was 24 or something like that.
Yeah. Did you and Eric, I guess you could say, toured? We'll just say toured because that sounds cooler. For a year and a half, just you two?
Probably more like 3 years.
3 years, okay.
I think. I'm not positive. I'll have to go back into my records. But I'm not sure. I'm not sure. I know Eric was working for the cable company or something.
Yeah,
that's
right.
It's a bad time for him. He hated that job, and he wasn't able to play as much. He was working all the time. He was having a kid, and I started jamming with Kyle Furseth and Mike Schockschneider quite a bit, and we kind of filled in those Mad Tatters gigs that Eric couldn't make and whatnot because you don't want to cancel stuff. It's like, well.
Right.
We'll do this little band, and most, you know, bar owners are like, yeah, that's fine. We'll go with that, and people liked it. And then Eric eventually got a better job and was more available. So
a lot more
we're
flexibility.
like, let's everybody join up. So and then it went from there. So
what are some of the venues that just you and Eric played at? So you had Anchor. Did you guys branch
well,
out in
right
Janesville
away
at
when
one
we
point?
first started, our big break was at Anchor, and then Finn's was across the river, and they asked us to play every Friday night.
Oh, yeah.
So that's how we really got going.
Yeah.
We had a weekly gig, and then started, I remember when we first started, we were gigging Friday, Saturday, Sunday, a lot, and it got to be kind of rough, but
You guys played, I think you played Breaking the Weather in 2011 at Finn's, though. I thought, because
we've never played at the Anchor Break in the Weather, but yeah, I think we've done Lakeview on that date, and I think Emma Gales. We used to play at Emma Gales a few times. I think that was one time. That was kind of fun playing there. I missed that place.
Yes.
Yeah, I missed their food.
Yes.
Well, hopefully it stays the same.
Alligator bites.
Right. But I won't go into those rumors and innuendos. So you guys played at Emma Gales. I thought you played down at Janesville at one point.
Yeah, we did some gigs down at Hammy's.
There it is, yeah, Hammy's.
We had a lot of gigs there, but yeah, we kind of broke away from that spot.
And I think, did you guys play at Fargs, or was that?
Yeah, we used to play at a Fargs. Yeah, God, there's been so many places. We played at Dino's in Janesville. We played at, I think it's called Barclays now.
What's that? That's that bar that you can bring your dog to.
Yeah. I
Which
think
one's that?
Barclays?
It used to be Spirits on
Over on the west side?
Yeah.
By Craig High School?
Court Street, I think it is.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Oh,
Yeah.
I know which one you're talking
Yeah.
about. Yeah.
Yeah, so, I mean, we've been,
Where's the farthest that you and Eric traveled? If you can remember.
I don't know, probably not super far.
Yeah.
Just, I don't
Some
know,
of these are
Madison
tough to
or
remember.
Fort
Yeah,
Atkinson.
going back 7 years already.
Right, and some of these
Yeah.
are a little blurry attending these
Absolutely.
concerts. So,
Yeah.
so Eric was working for I think it was Charter, right?
Right, something like that.
And you talked to Kyle.
Yeah.
How did that go down?
Well, we just started jamming, you know, like just come down to the basement and the three of us and would, just jam, come up with tunes to play.
And what about Schnocky? How did you think?
Schnocky has started.
Involved? We all know Schnocky's been a musician forever, and
Scotty Vidioli introduced me to Schnocky, and him and I jammed one time together, and he played drums, and I was just playing acoustic, and he starts singing all these harmonies, along with me, and it's just like, oh wow! And then this guy knows every single song, like he's an encyclopedia.
That's impressive
when it comes to tunes, and it's crazy. So, and he knows like the arrangement. He knows how that goes too. He's.
Have you ever gone over to Scotty's when Schnocky's like rehearsing? It's hilarious. I mean, now he's got his drums, I think, in your basement, but
they're back in the apartment.
The back of the apartment, but you go over there and you're having a few beers at Scotty's, but Schnocky's just in the back room with these Beats by Dre on, and he's just nailing like Rush tunes. And I went in there one day. I'm like, just play Working Man. And he put it on without the beats in, and he just played it to a T. I'm like, this is amazing.
Wow.
Yeah, he's impressive.
He is.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I've never been over there for that. I wish I would have seen that.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So then eventually Eric came on.
Yep. And it wasn't very long that the three of us were doing shows. Remember we did that Harley Davidson show?
That's right, in the summer. Yep.
Yeah, down at Cutter Harley Davidson, the three of us. Eric was going to come to that too, but he was working.
Yeah.
Was that
for they put on a charity?
It was for Gifts for Kids. For Edgerton's Gifts for Kids. They asked
Cutter
us
did
to
that.
do. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Nice.
Mm-hmm. So they asked us to do that, and that was fun. And then Eric became more available, so then we just went full band from there. Mm-hmm. And then,
How long has it been that you've had the full band together then?
I think
that would have been summer of 2014.
Yeah, you were okay.
I mean, I can put these together just because of my own neurosis, but that would have been summer of 2014 that Cutter gig was.
Okay,
so I'm assuming
4 years.
Yeah,
4 years.
Yeah.
So I was right. 3 years.
Yeah.
Eric
all
and
the times
I,
that we go out, over the weekends and see you playing, and you just kind of lose time.
Sure.
At least I do. I lose time.
Well, I remember that one because it
You
was
just
during
sit
the
there.
week. It was on like a Wednesday or something like that.
And
Yeah.
you go and you see these bands over and over again, and because A, they're your friends, and B, they're good. So
it's live music.
And it's live music, and it's summertime, and things just blur together, and you kind of forget about how long you've actually been doing it. I guess I didn't put two and two together. That's already been 7 years.
Yeah.
That blew my mind when I heard it the first time, because I was like, yeah, now that I think about it, yeah. But
and I'll tell you,
back that far and go, I do remember.
I used to know this, but there's only been a handful of gigs that I haven't made it to.
This is true.
I mean,
you've been a big supporter.
Yeah, absolutely.
Maybe the official Mad Tatter's groupie.
Could be.
I think so.
Could be.
I do believe so.
Yeah, I can't remember exactly how many, but it hasn't been a lot. I think one of my favorite gigs, I don't know for what reason, but you guys, it sounded good down in, what's Lear's Bar in Janesville?
Whiskey Ranch.
Whiskey Ranch, but it was during the summertime, and it was during harvest season, so I worked in tobacco for Ryan, and then went down to that block party.
Rock Around the Block, or something like that.
Was it like in September?
In
September, and it was all the bars in Janesville. They had you walk basically.
It closed down Main Street,
that's
and
right.
you could take your beer onto
was
the
that,
street.
2 years ago?
All right, so
I got him hitting your neurosis.
This would have been like, I want to say 2015, because I remember this would have been fall 2014, because I lived in Whitewater, and I had to go back and forth all Labor Day weekend to work in tobacco for my brother, which I fucking hate. But on the Sunday, on the Sunday, I got out of tobacco, and I met with Theron, and we knew that Tatter had that gig.
Tatter needs a beer.
You want to give Tatter a beer, Quinn?
Thanks.
Yeah. But I knew he had that gig, so I left the field and went to that.
I think it was 2015.
It could have been.
I think it
At any
was.
rate, it was a cool
Yeah,
gig.
I know.
Yeah, and it sounded really good.
Bob was in the band.
That's right. I totally forgot about how. Okay, so tell me about Fat Bob. I mean Bob Patera. Sorry. I've always called him that, so I apologize in advance if I call him that again. But yeah, tell me how you met him, or you've known him, but how he got into the band.
Yeah, so we had to switch drummers. It happens sometimes.
Yep.
So I was looking for a new drummer, and I knew Bob had just come off of an old band, Cutting Room Floor. I remember
They were good.
because that was a cool name. I
Yeah.
don't think I ever saw him, but
I saw him at Patty's in Fort one time.
so I
They're
grew up
good.
with Bob. You know, he's my age, and I always knew he was a great drummer. Thanks, Chad.
Yeah.
I'll hit you guys back. And so I'm like, hey, do you want to work? And he's like, yeah. And so Bob comes in, and we go through our set list, and Bob doesn't recognize a single song that we play because
Right.
he's not into that type of music.
No.
He's a metal guy
Metal,
and quick
yep.
and fast and
Yeah.
loud,
Yeah.
you know. And so we kind of held Schnocky back a little bit when he was with the band right away because we were more of acoustic.
Sure.
And we brought Kyle in to kind of do some leads and, you know, not heavy percussion, you know. Like now it'd be fine, you know.
Yeah.
But we just weren't ready for that transition. We didn't have a bass player, you know, so it was just we were kind of more of an acoustic type.
I remember Schnocky would reduce
Yeah.
his kit a lot. It wasn't a full
Right.
kit, but it was perfect for what the sound you guys were going
Sure.
for.
So we kind of had to change a little bit because that's just not how Bob plays.
Right.
He's quick, you know. So that was good though and fun, and it was a good time. And he stayed with us for a while, and then he was with this other band, Dregs of Bower City. Were amazing
I think I never
three-piece
saw
band.
them,
You
Yeah,
never
maybe
I think
did.
I saw them at the Looking Glass one night. What kind of music
Yeah.
did they play?
Oh, okay. I
They
think I was looking
played
for that
like
one.
they
Did they
were.
play 90s music? And
They were all over the place,
All over the
but
place.
they
Yeah.
just kind of made it their own. I wouldn't call them metal,
Right.
but like they were just kind of like harder rock, but like they did covers of, you know, a huge variety of
Right.
different
And
genres.
put like a hard rock vibe on it.
Yeah.
Almost. Yeah.
And when I saw them when they came back after he left the band, I went to one of their shows, and it was at the Baron too, and they were even better than before. And I remember their bass player was singing the high harmonies and stuff, and like he wasn't before. He like came out of his shell a little bit too, and man, they were good. So I think they play here once in a while. I think they're busy. So, but
Yeah. Where's Bob at now?
Bob's still around Janesville or Beloit or something like that.
Is he
And
playing anywhere? Do you know?
he's with Dregs, I think, from here
Okay.
and then, but I don't know if he's playing that much anymore.
Okay.
He's busy with his job, and he's got a baby. And
Right. All right. So Bob left.
So Bob leaves,
Yep.
and Bob recommends Ross Harride, another guy from Edgerton. And
By the way, thank you, Ross, for the image. Love that image.
Oh yeah. Thank you, Ross.
yeah, Ross
so
is
much
helping us out
for
on
that.
the
That was
podcast a
great.
little bit too, and
Yep.
he's a talented dude.
Yeah.
you know,
Absolutely.
and
Very.
Ross he played with a band in college, and they played a few songs. I don't know if they did a battle of the bands or whatever, but they played like one set or something like that. Maybe one show or something like that. And he came in, and I know he went through, you know, high school band and stuff. So it's like, okay, he could probably do it. And he came in right away and was pretty tight. I wasn't even really, you know, like, because Bob's always kind of like looking at me like, because he doesn't know the music that
Yeah.
well.
Didn't know the music that well.
But, you know, he obviously, I didn't have to talk to Bob after a little bit, but easy drummer to work with, Ross was. And then, you know, he's all into the new technology, like graphic artist kind of stuff. And now he records all of our shows. First we did audio, and now he's doing audio and visual. Like he's got, now we have two videos or two little GoPros that we
Yep.
do. And You can find us all. You can find like all of our shows on YouTube.
So he lets
and
the two GoPros like go at the same time, obviously, and then
Right.
he edit.
Oh yeah.
Go later on, and he'll pick which angles he wants.
Right. And Kyle's
Yeah.
starting to do some of that too. Now since we got some new equipment, our mixer is just like on a laptop now,
Yeah.
and he can record just onto that laptop. So I don't know. It's going to take some more tinkering here, like
Sure.
to get everything tight. You know what I mean? But it's cool, man.
Yeah.
I mean, everybody's like super into this new, technology, like recording all your stuff, your live stuff, and it's fun.
Well, it's a great way to get your sound out there, promote yourself, throw it on YouTube. I know you guys have done, I don't know if it's every gig, but live Facebook streams.
Yeah, we did that. We did that at a practice one time, and we did it at the Baron one time too. I don't know if it worked or not, but
I mean, I was at the show, so I
Right.
had no idea if it was actually working or not.
And talking
Well-
favorite gigs, though, and
Yeah.
I've been to several of your shows over the years, obviously. Normally pretty shit-faced at
Yeah.
the time I'm there, so I don't remember a whole lot of them, forgive me for that. But the one I really enjoyed was just a couple weeks ago at the Baron.
Sure.
You guys rocked the house down there.
thanks, man.
It was unbelievable. It really was.
Yeah.
It sounded so good outside. It was absolutely a gorgeous day.
Yeah.
Everybody was outside mingling, having a good time, and of course it's on Sunday, our favorite day to drink. But yeah, I mean,
Sure.
how-
Yeah, I agree, man. I thought it was a good gig too. I mean, we're just, we've been together here for a couple years now, all four of us, and we're just getting
You guys
better.
are
I
hitting
think,
your
and
stride.
we're getting better, and
New
we got some
songs.
we're constantly doing new songs because it's just mixing it up.
Yeah.
It's like people like that, and we got some new equipment too. I mean, give a little props to that,
Sure.
because it makes it sound so much nicer, especially outside.
Yeah. Oh, you guys sound a lot tighter than you have in the past. I mean, I've noticed growth throughout the last few years, and that stuff just takes time. Though,
Yeah.
But you guys sound fantastic.
Yeah,
right
and
now.
it's everybody. Everybody's
yeah,
getting better,
yeah,
you know?
absolutely.
So we were talking favorite gigs. Do you have a favorite gig that you've played
That you can think of
that
at
you
least.
can?
I mean,
Like the one that stands out in your mind. I don't know if there is, but
last year Tobacco Days was a lot of fun, just
That was a
because
blast.
when you go on stage and you have a professional sound on a big stage like that, and you got drum risers, and you're on a big freaking flatbed and lights, and he had two monitors in front of me, just blaring. So it's like you feel like you can sing all night long, like you don't have to stress yourself, to hear, and that's when you start losing your voice and stuff like that. And I've gotten better since the years have gone on. I used to lose my voice here and there, especially, if you got two gigs in a row, because you're over singing. It's because you can't hear.
Right.
You can hear, you don't need to stress,
Right.
So
Would you rather have monitors up there like that at Tobacco Days or the inner ear monitors?
I'd still rather have the inner ears because it cancels out all the other stuff. Like,
Right.
and especially like the cymbals, they just wreck you. And I used to,
Really match.
yeah, like especially like with Schnocky, holy crap, or Bob,
Yeah. Did you guys have I suppose you didn't have the inner ear monitors with Bob. But
No.
I can only imagine what that must have sounded like if Bob had a good song that was a little bit quicker than what the
and
Tatters were
he's
doing.
starting to hit his element. Right.
Probably destroy those things.
Yeah, so I can't hear anything, and I'm trying to sing louder so I can hear myself, and then
Especially in a venue where you can't spread out a little bit. You're packed.
Yeah, you're
into a
packed
corner,
in.
real tight.
Yeah.
and then you got more, monitors coming at you, so it's just more sound. The inner ears have saved my life. Man,
Yeah.
I love them. But you got guys like Wayne Scow. I'm like, Wayne, you ever lose your voice? Never. That's what he told me. And he's like, maybe he said one time, but he was sick too. So it's like,
But you still couldn't really tell.
yeah.
Right.
That's a guy that we got to get on.
Yeah, hopefully in the future we'll get Wayne up
very,
here.
very soon
Absolutely,
future,
yeah.
I hope, because he'd be a great guy to talk to. And, he's gigged in Edgerton a lot longer
God.
than I have.
And way beyond.
Yeah,
Edgerton.
and beyond
Yeah.
that. And he's talented beyond that. You know, like he's a great artist. Like he can draw, and I don't know if he does any painting, but he's talented dude.
Yeah, he's definitely a guy that we have certainly discussed and thought about, and hopefully we can get on in the future because I have a ton of questions just for where he's played, the changes he's seen. You know, this guy that at one point opened for Ario, but then Ario opened for them. So he's definitely a guy that I want to talk about.
And what band was that?
Stonehenge.
And then what was that other band? Oh, he opened for, was it the Ramones? Not the Ramones.
Could have been.
Who does Blitzkrieg Bop? Is that the Ramones?
The Ramones. See, we're looking for
This
our
is where
producer.
we need our
We're looking for our
producer.
producer, but
Quinn says I'm right.
but Quinn's not even paying attention right now, so it's
Quinn's
fine.
thinking about the Wilbur. Trying to figure out a way to conceal the Wilbur another week.
Back to the Tobacco Days gig last year. How was that up on stage? The last, I know the last part of it where it was everybody.
The Sunday.
The Sunday, yeah.
Oh,
How did that originate?
Dude, that was Dan. That was Dan Riley's doing. I feel. I don't know. Sounds of Edgerton, and that was awesome. That was so much
That
fun.
might have been the coolest thing I've seen band-wise in Edgerton.
You know, and so that was probably
long
even
time.
more fun. That was probably one of my favorite gigs of all time. That one right there.
The Sunday?
Yeah, the Sunday. Because when we played Friday night, it was like everybody was watching softball.
All right, yeah.
So it's like there's a few people up there and people liked us and whatnot, but this was during the day and it's packed and everybody's up there and everybody's digging it, you know? So like you feed off that crowd, obviously. So I was just I was so into it, you know. And even one of the sound guys was just like, "You were into it today, man. Like you really had it. Whatever." He's like, "I watched you this weekend. And you got it." I was like, "That feels really good when a dude like that
just became the house drummer that day too."
Yeah,
he sat in with everybody.
I felt bad for the people that were at the park, and it's getting to be, you know, later in the day. Obviously, Dan Riley's closed Tobacco Days forever.
Yeah.
And then they leave and they go somewhere else, and they miss out on probably the greatest band moment in Edgerton in years.
Definitely up there.
In years.
Definitely up there.
I mean, it's been a long time since something awesome like we've talked about Stonehenge for 2 weeks in a row now.
Yeah,
you know, 2 episodes in a row here.
True.
And how much they meant to everybody around here.
Right.
And growing up listening to them, and then you get to see this generational band that comes together and bridges that gap, and then, you know, obviously you're starting a new generation of music in Edgerton coming up through, and hopefully some other people will feed off of you and create some new bands going. But
who was the
that was just so
lineup
awesome
that day? Can anybody
I don't
remember it
remember.
exactly?
I know Dan Witt, Dan Riley.
So they solo?
Yeah, they
Dan
did
did
it.
solo for quite a while before that.
I know that, but I'm saying on the Sunday, what was the lineup?
And then I think it was like Tad Sriracha.
Yep.
And maybe then the Mad Tatters, and Sarah sang a song or two with the Mad Tatters, and then Heavy Petting played a couple songs, and then I think Carrie and Crud. I forgot about Carrie and Crud. They played before me and Sarah, I think, and then Morning Days.
Yep.
And then Schnocky came up and played with Morning Days, and then it was the whole group jam, which on June 2nd, Crud is having his opening the barn party at his place on F.
Yep.
So that's there's going to be a jam there. So we're hopefully all of those people show up and we can kind of talk about maybe something that we're going to do for that Sunday, because they're doing the Sounds of Edgerton again this year.
So put together a rough lineup almost.
Yeah, so
leave
maybe
the
we can
park.
do.
Yeah.
Don't leave the park.
Don't leave.
So maybe we can do, maybe more than one tune, or if we get, because there was other people too. I don't think Billy Conway's around in the summertime. He goes to Japan. He's just at Anchor last week.
I saw him last week. Yeah.
We were gigging at Anchor last week, and he was there. Man, he's a great musician too.
Yeah, I've seen him play with a band at the Lounge.
Yeah,
recently. I can't remember who it was.
I think his name is Chris.
Okay.
And those guys are super tight.
Yep.
Good. I mean, great guitar players, and their harmonies are just.
Didn't Matt McIntyre get up on stage
He
with
did,
you guys?
yeah.
And
I didn't
he
even
played
know-
very well.
Yeah,
Oh yeah,
he played
I didn't-
awesome.
Yeah, he's up there doing solos.
Yeah.
I mean, what is his band now?
MDR is that? Is he still doing that?
Yeah.
But I was asking my old man about this. Like, because he talks to Maynard pretty regularly still. And he couldn't really pinpoint where he was playing, but he still is somewhere. Maybe in more Evansville or...
Did I hear Maynard's going to come down and jam with you guys on the 2nd?
I think so. We're trying to get everybody involved. You know, anybody from Edgerton. I mean, if you're listening right now,
And you jam.
and you, like
Get out there.
Get out there so we can put you in the lineup.
And
I mean,
Crud lives off of...
we ought to get Dan Witt's kids band to play out there
There we
too.
go.
I mean, I think they're called Garage Sale. Mm-hmm. They played. We had a gig down here last night for Heavy Petting, and they came up and played. And these guys, I think the oldest kid was 18.
yeah, and they were good.
They were great.
They were phenomenal. They really
Yeah.
were. Barbie just told me about that again this past Sunday, and I keep forgetting about that. But I'm really excited for that. That'll be a fun day.
Yeah, I think it starts
just
around
gonna
1
be-
p.m. and
Goes until it goes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Line up
What was
your
what
drivers.
was the song that everybody sang at the end?
going to Kansas City.
Going to Kansas City. That was a perfect,
Yeah.
perfect song choice because everybody just gets a chance.
Right. Well, and at the
So
end
Wayno
there,
comes on and just upstages everybody.
at the end there, Dan was going to end it, and I was like, "Let Schnocky." I grabbed a mic and I
Yes.
made my way up to the drum riser and put it in his face because he didn't have a mic stand or a mic up there, so I put it in his face. I'm like, "Dan, one for Schnocky." And so that was kind
Scotty
of
played
fun.
when he was drumming. That was I totally forgot about that.
Yeah,
That
he
was,
sang while he's drumming, and then Rick was of Morning Days was because they don't play with a drummer; they have a drum machine. He was like, he thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Being not the creative person in the world, it always boggles me how. And congratulations to people that can do it, but that can drum and hit the notes and sing at the same time.
Yep.
People that can play guitar and sing at the same time. I think the world of them because that's using parts of the brain that I don't have.
Sure.
And I'm jealous of it, but I mean, that's one of the coolest things in the world to see is just somebody that can utilize their hands separately from their brain
Sure.
to bring that kind of sound out.
Right.
to people.
yeah, it's got to be tough. My God. And some of the more complicated tunes, but they're complicated to begin with to playing guitar, but then
Right.
you have to sing at the same time.
Yeah.
It's like, my God.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like when I'm singing and playing, the instrument part isn't quite as complicated. But I don't know, some tunes it is. But
Sure.
Does it get to be routine for you?
you just get better. I mean, you just work at it. And
We didn't even
Are there some
discuss
songs that are
this,
just
but-
completely muscle memory to you?
yeah, of course.
we didn't
Yeah.
discuss this, but when did you pick up the guitar? Like how old?
I think
were
I
you?
was 18.
Okay.
I think it was 18. I think it was in college. And Leif Thronson, who was in my first band. It was me, Leif Thronson,
Best song in the world.
Chris Hart, and
Old style.
Matt Carruthers. And we played in my parents' garage every Sunday. Mm-hmm. And I think we came up with the name of MC and the Moonshine Gang. I think that was the one that we decided upon. We never had any gigs or anything. The one gig we had was at Tobacco Days after the parade. People came out and
Oh, the people
we played.
walking by.
Well,
and
after the
garage?
parade, all my friends came and
Yeah.
Did you play over at
we played-
Edwardson's?
Yeah, I
every year?
forgot about
One
that
time
one,
we
too.
played over at Edwardson's on Rollins Street.
Yep.
Yep. That was just me and Eric. Yeah, that was hot. Oh
Yeah.
my God. And I remember Rusty Vickers was like, "Don't you guys want to take a break? It's fucking hot." It's like-
Take a break.
that
With that perfect hair.
was he always gave me that good heckle. If you ever want to heckle a band, which I don't recommend, but maybe if you know the band a little bit,
Right.
but is after a song, take a break.
I think that was the year after we brought the goat out to Albion in the outfield for the instead.
Yeah. Yeah. There was a lot going on
the
that
live
weekend.
goat out, and
Yep.
Swentz was all about let's stay off the beer until this time. But
Right.
then we get on
We
the
got this damn goat we got.
Captain and root beers at 9:30 in the morning.
Yeah, whoops.
Swentz is taking it easy on tobacco days, huh?
Right.
Yeah, that's not going to happen. That's not going to happen. So, I mean, I have on the agenda here of favorite places to play.
I mean, the Baron obviously is super fun.
Yeah. Did you guys play at the Old Baron?
Oh yeah,
I can't. I'm
Oh,
losing
yeah.
my memory here. But
Yeah.
yeah. We played the Old Baron. I mean, I'm trying to think. It's hard. It's hard. I can't think of anything right now. I'll think of it later. I'm sure. But
Island Bar gigs were fun.
oh yeah,
Yep.
I mean, on the water. is
Anywhere on the
great.
water.
Yeah.
Well, last Saturday was a blast too. Right on the water at Anchor.
Yeah.
Sounded great out there. Mm-hmm. There's a new backdrop on the stage now, so
Yeah.
it's pretty cool.
We kind of lost some folks to the micro wrestling
Oh, wow.
going on,
Yeah.
which
Rack Daddy? Uh-huh.
doesn't really, you know,
Why would you
spark
book it?
my interest
Right.
much. But
And
you know,
it's kind of like, why would you book that at the same time? But
I've
know,
seen it live, totally shit-faced, hilarious. Not gonna lie. I was into it. But I don't think I could watch it over the tatters unless I was super shit-faced.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't even go. I went inside a couple times to get a beer, and that was about it. And I came back.
I think
out
it's
watching.
more for the fibs.
Yeah,
Not
it
even
could
over
be.
the Naughty Mermaid?
Was the Naughty Mermaid even open?
Yeah,
I
they
don't
were
know.
open,
Okay.
man.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I guess I just
I don't
wasn't
know.
paying
Favorite
attention.
places to play. What's one of your favorite gigs? I can't remember. Like where we?
Well, I guess my favorite gig, not necessarily my favorite place that you played, was the gig down at
Whiskey.
Whiskey Ranch.
That was a lot of fun. Well,
Yeah.
because there was so much music everywhere. You know, there's
Yeah.
a band at every bar. Which
Right, just
I wish they would do that again, or maybe Edgerton could do that.
Yeah.
You know,
That
like
would be
have
cool.
have a Sunday where, you know, there's a band at the Lounge and the Two Brothers and the Baron and Last Night and maybe Pit Stop has an acoustic person in the patio or something.
They get every and have shuttles going back and forth between the bars and the owners getting some tickets out and going,
Sure. And
come on in, let's.
so I just heard that the Decoy
Yeah,
in the
email
yeah.
us that. Yeah.
email that
Yeah.
we got today that the Decoy can have music outside.
On Sunday night, this coming Sunday, from 2 to 6, the Decoy is going to put up a snow fence and have morning days outside. And so you can only enter in through the front door,
Okay.
buy beer inside, take it outside. Can't buy any beer outside.
Sure.
Come back in to use the bathrooms. But yeah, it's the first time I can remember
That's awesome.
the Decoy having something outside like that.
Yeah.
And they just got it approved by the city council last night. So, John's excited.
Thank you, Jim
Yeah.
Burdick, for that one.
Yeah. Thank you, council,
Thank you, Councilman.
for recognizing
Yeah,
that
that's awesome. That's
places
great.
like this need to
Yeah.
have more options to them to increase their businesses.
So are they thinking about maybe like putting a patio out there? Or?
Well, I think eventually, see how things
See how it
go.
goes.
Yeah.
If it works, I think John's more open to doing things in the future.
Sure.
But
That's awesome.
he wants to do things
Yeah.
and show off the Decoy. It's one of those bars that kind of has its own little following, and
Right.
you go there on certain occasions. You don't go there on certain occasions
Right.
because it's
Right.
a lot of times. A lot of people go out there for wakes, obviously, because of the parking, and you're
Yeah.
able to fit a lot of people
Yep.
into a place. We were out there for Rusty's.
Yep.
God rest his soul. And that was one of the funnest days I've ever had.
Yeah.
Anywhere was
Yeah.
and that obviously we're remembering
Sure.
just a tremendous
Well, I'm
human
sure
being,
Rusta
but-
would be happy
but
that was one of
the
the
people
funnest
that were there
days, so.
just made the day fun, and listening to the stories everybody was telling was great.
Right.
But
Under circumstances, it
under
was a fun day.
circumstances, but yeah,
Sure.
I mean, definitely want to see people come out to the Decoy on.
Yeah.
on
I
Well,
think
it's kinda
some of my-
nice.
Go ahead.
and they're
Go
playing
ahead.
from 2 to 6, so I mean it's
Morning days hours.
morning days out. Well, but they have to be done by 8 o'clock.
Okay.
With the neighbors that are around there, and John's very sensitive to that. He's like, hey, it's the first time I've been able to do
Yeah, you
this
don't wanna
out
piss
here.
them off.
I want to make sure this goes smooth, make sure it goes without a hitch, and recognizing also that Tigers played home that day against Stoughton. So he also recognizes that,
Oh boy.
well, I can't start it too early, because if I do, I'm not going to have a crowd for the first 2 hours.
Yeah.
But if I can start it later enough, I'll still have people in Edgerton that don't go out there for the Tiger game. But then hopefully those Tiger fans will all come back and.
Well, hopefully be a blowout by 2 o'clock anyway.
So. I hope so. It's Stoughton.
Right. We'll cover that in a little bit here, but some of my most memorable gigs that you've done are just the private shows. We talked about Everton's, but I think for whatever reason, Eric could not play the Shock and Rock party that Butch put on. So you brought Leaf in.
Oh yeah. I remember that. That was a fun gig. Yeah.
Vickers got up there and I did for that summer from Garth Brooks. And then I think we attempted Watchtower, but it was we just kept going in a loop. We didn't know how to end it.
About that, man. He played with me at Tobacco Days gig too.
Yep. Those are some of my gigs. And that was the Tobacco Days one. Eric was there as well, because that would have been 2014. Because I just can't remember that.
Right. We just wanted to include
Leaf
him
in.
too. Yeah. It's like the Edgerton thing, like he's the longtime tobacco farmer of our generation. Right. It's just like he should be included in that. He's a great musician.
Yep.
So.
How far away from Edgerton have you played? Have you played in Milwaukee? Have you played in Madison?
Madison, yeah.
Yeah, Madison, yes. But me personally, Sarah and I last year played in Kentucky at what's it called? Fort Knox.
Fort Knox, yeah. I went to that one.
Fort Knox, yeah. Jake was actually at that one.
I made the trek to that one.
Yeah, so you've been to a lot of them.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
But we're playing there again this year, too. It's a long drive down there, but it's okay. They're paying us, so we're gonna do it. We're actually got. So last year was like kind of a road trip. Mm-hmm. So like play a gig at Fort Knox, and then the next day, me and my girlfriend and Sarah went to Sarah's sister's place in St. Louis, stayed with her, and went out in St. Louis that night. It was a lot of fun, and then we went to a Cardinals game the next day, which I'd never been to Busch Stadium. That was pretty cool. And, explored St. Louis again, and then came home. We went through Sarah's hometown. I can't remember the name of it right now, but it's this small little town in south central Illinois. It was like, whoa, we're not in Edgerton anymore.
No.
We're not in Edgerton anymore.
South central Illinois.
So Kentucky, I guess, has been my furthest gig.
So you got Mad Tatters in rotation right now. You've got Tatasaracha and Heavy Petting.
And then I also play on my own for the
jams.
Jams.
That's kind of what I was going to get into before I want to get into Heavy Petting. Some of the solo gigs you've done. Tell us about those. If you can remember them, I suppose.
Yeah, I mean, I've done wedding. I did a lot of weddings.
Oh yeah, that's right. Me and you've teamed up. Master of ceremonies.
Yeah, Jic and I have done at least 2, maybe 3 weddings together. I can't remember.
We did Raquel's and Ames's.
Yeah,
Ames's was the first one.
So I've done a handful of weddings, maybe 7, 8 weddings. I don't know, maybe 10.
Charles, I remember you did his.
Ben Zacharias, Beth and Beth's brother, Beth
Horn, or whatever the maiden name is now.
Sure, her maiden name is Horn, and I don't know, Charles Burrow, and I've done a lot of weddings, and I've done a couple funerals, and then I've started doing like some solo stuff out at Off the Hook.
Yeah,
that's where I started my jam session type deal, and so
really.
Yeah.
I don't remember those.
Yeah, I started playing out there, and then didn't have time, I guess.
Right.
I don't know.
So Heavy Petting.
Heavy Petting.
How did this start?
So Heavy Petting started actually with Neil Reed of Killer Cars. Him and I had gotten together a few times to like try an acoustic little thing, and it was okay, but it just wasn't there, and he wanted to start something new and do a full band type of deal. So he wanted me and Kyle from Mad Tatters and Heavy Petting to, kind of jam with him, and he came over and we just got together and talked about it, and I'm like, well, Schnocky's would be available. Yeah, sure. Schnocky's available, and Neil and Schnocky used to work together at Disco Round. Right. Schnocky was actually Neil's manager. Schnocky was the manager there. Perfect job for Schnocky.
Yes.
Just like judging all these people that come in. They don't know shit about music.
You don't want that. You don't want that record.
You're actually going to buy this record?
You don't need that.
So, everybody knows each other, and we practiced together. It was a lot of fun there for a while, and then Neil's got 3 children, and he just kind of flaked out, and it's okay. I mean, no hard feelings, obviously. Sure. Like, Neil's a great dude, and excellent musician, Mm-hmm. His voice is always pristine. I can't believe that he can sing that like that. It's crazy. But
so I don't mean to interrupt, but like, are the Killer Cars, they're not touring anymore? They're not going
no, I don't think so. I think they're done for now. Okay. You never know. Hopefully they'll be back at some time. But
his dad is also amazing.
Yes, Dwayne Warden. Yeah, what a great.
Yeah, he's amazing
musician, man. He's up there and he's got some backing tracks and whatnot, but he plays the guitar great. Mm-hmm. He's got the keys up there. Yep. He's awesome.
Yep.
And so Dan had heard about us jamming with him. He's like, well, if you want to keep going, I'll play with you guys. And Dan came in, and it just worked out. So it's a lot of fun. It's a little different for me because I'm not the front man.
Yep.
So I'm playing bass and singing a lot of backups. I sing lead in a few songs, but I kind of like that role. Yeah. I mean, it's a lot of fun, and I can kind of be better at the bass guitar too.
So it allows you to kind of focus on another instrument,
sure,
another angle.
Yeah, and the backups, And we played a show last week with Mr. Pink, and they were like blown away with our backups because everybody sings. Kyle sings, Schnocky sings, I sing.
When was the first Heavy Petting gig? I can't remember. Was that to back?
That was one of my favorite gigs too, actually.
Okay.
Like, this was a benefit gig out at Lucy's, and Dem Horny Funkers played, and they were, holy crap. They're a new band around. We got to get them in Edgerton. And they have a great horn section and 2 great lead vocalists, like singing back and forth and harmonizing. And then we played, and then Pop Forward, this band that was really big back in the day. And they used to be out of Club Raven. Dan Witt used to own Club Raven across from the Anchor there. And wow, such a talented band. So like, it's nice. Like, those benefit gigs are great to do, and Mad Tatters have done a bunch of them too. That's where I got my damn dog at Tom Fegested's.
Oh, that's right.
Benefit out at Anchor. Eric and I were playing, and I was living with Corey Vickers and Ben Pallett, and they had dogs up for auction from Spike's, and Benny's like, you guys want to get a dog? I'm like, yeah, sure. And I went inside to talk to Wayne Scow, and Vickers was off getting drunk somewhere, and Ben comes up, he's like, I got the dog. I'm like, okay.
Shit.
So now, Chip Dog, 6 years later, he's going to be 6 in August. So
was that Lucy's you guys' first gig? I forgot about that.
Yeah, that was our first one.
You guys have done a handful of gigs out there now, I believe.
Yeah. We're out there on Saturday.
Yep. Oh, you are? Okay.
Yeah.
Saturday. I was going to ask, what's your schedule like?
Saturday, Mad Tatters are Heavy Petting is at Lucy's from 8 to 12, and then we're at the Baron on Sunday. So since it's Memorial Day weekend, I'm thinking we'll probably play like 5.
Okay. Or wait till after.
I don't know. Like, normally Sundays is 3 to 7 at the Baron.
Mm-hmm. Nobody has to work Monday.
Yeah,
right.
I'm assuming they'll bump that up, especially if.
I don't know. We'll see.
Morning Days is going to play 2 to 6.
It'd be neat to see people go from the park down to watch Morning Days, and then, like you were saying earlier, kind of that rock around the block type deal.
Yeah.
But
Sure.
it's not. It's Memorial Day weekend. We're all going to have a blast on Sunday, and just go from one to the next, and you get to hear such different styles of music, and everything.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Everything. You're going to hear everything.
It'll be a good weekend.
Yeah.
For sure. Last question. One person that you want to play with in the future? Anybody, I guess.
Anybody.
Well, let's keep it to E-Town, I suppose. But
I mean, it'd be awesome to have a gig with Wayno.
yeah.
I mean, I've always,
His name comes up a lot.
Sure does.
I've admired that guy since I was a little
Yeah.
kid. I've seen Morning Days and Dan Riley and the Barn Swallows since I was.
I never got to see Dan Riley and the Barn Swallows. At least I don't remember it.
Well, my parents would go to those gigs a lot. Out at Captain's Catch.
Yep.
That was the place across from the Anchor for a while. And, all the Tobacco Days and Chili Mania they played. And it was just, I always thought, I always loved Morning Days. And nothing against anybody else in the band because everybody's great. But I've always just kind of loved Wayne and always wanted, I loved his voice, from day one. So, he's 65 years old or whatever, and just sounds sounds amazing.
Yeah.
Still, so I still go see him every chance I get. And they just came out with that book and actually mentioned me, Luke Tatter, and the Mad Tatters in the book. And I was just kind of taken back when they did that. So it'd be. And Wayne's actually said he'd wanted to. We've always talked about jamming and whatnot, but we've never set it up. So I gotta get in gear and make it happen.
Well, maybe on the second.
Yeah.
And last gig we had for Heavy Penny, he came up and sang.
That's right. Yep.
What was it?
God,
What song was it?
I can't remember. There's been so many gigs lately.
I don't need a whole lot of money.
Yeah. Yep.
Some kind of wonderful.
Yeah. Yep.
Some kind of wonderful. So
I would love to see at some point, and I've shared this with you before, like Chili Mania. It's great what Tom does.
Yeah.
It's great that we got all these premier bands, and it's a music festival now. At least that's how I see it. It's got just an all-day music festival. But
it's 2-day.
Well, yeah, it's 2-day now. Yeah, but I would like to somehow. I think it'd be cool if they worked in like a local jam. It doesn't have to be this blistering 2-hour set, but maybe just an hour that I don't know logistics of it. But
feature some local musicians.
Yeah,
well,
feature some local
this
guys.
year, Friday night, Tata Sriracha is opening up Chili Mania, and the Mad Tatters are going to be involved as well.
Okay.
So, full band Tata Sriracha with the Mad Tats.
There you go.
So,
You've been
it should be
holding on
cool.
to that information?
No, this has been... No, I haven't been holding on to it. And we, Sarah and I have, come up with a list of stuff, and because the Mad Tatters used to play a lot more country.
Sure.
We don't really play. We don't really play much anymore.
I know,
we
that's
kind of
their theme
transitioned
on
into some more
Friday night. Yeah.
60s stuff, and 90s stuff, and we always played that stuff too. But the country's kind of gone away. We still play some
there's a
country
handful
songs.
of tunes.
There's a few, but it's kind of gone away a little bit. So. Yeah, we might bring back some of those old songs we played and some of the stuff that Tata Sriracha plays and just kind of blend it in because we got more singers now, so we can do that.
So it'll be Friday night at Chili Mania.
Friday night Chili Mania. I think we start at 5.
Yeah,
that's country night. I keep
Country Edge.
Country Edge, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, so there's another band from Milwaukee playing after us that's supposed to be really good.
Okay.
And I think they play covers, and then they did have a Nashville recording artist coming, but I think that fell through. So they're working on getting somebody else right now. So,
all right. Well, that was great.
Yeah.
I don't know how long we did, but let's move on to the next subject, I guess. What do you got for Tigers?
Tigers dropped a heartbreaker against Evansville last Thursday night. They get beat 2-1.
That's right. That got rescheduled.
That got rescheduled
last Saturday or
from
two
last
Saturdays
Saturday. A rain-out game. And Evansville's got a pretty good little pitcher over there.
Yeah.
Throws a lot of smoke. Josh Eastman was telling me they just kind of hit Albion in a perfect storm. A lot of top hitters weren't able to hit the ball. They had 3 hits the whole day.
Oh, man.
So, and then, of course, Sunday, they were supposed to play at Jefferson. They're playing they're playing tonight at Jefferson. So hopefully...
Now, is that Thursday night or that's Sunday?
That was a Sunday game that got rescheduled to tonight. So Albion has a slew of games this week.
Jefferson is so tough because of that church.
Yeah.
Yep. So you get that glare coming back at you from center field.
Yep.
Parking is...
It's just like Albion. It's like playing out at Albion at night too.
Yep.
It's tough to see the ball.
They're playing the makeup game tonight against Jefferson. Hopefully they'll smoke them.
Sure.
And then
they got a good team, don't they?
Yeah,
Jefferson.
and then I believe they do. Jefferson's really come on the last couple of years. I don't know where the hell Evansville came from. All of a sudden, they're 4-5-0.
They got that new pitcher.
Wow. That new pitchers. I mean, pitching in hometown baseball. Your dad talked about it. How it makes a difference. Really, truly does. You get guys to fly out. You get guys to ground out. I mean, it's what you got to do, right? But they have 4 games this week. They play tonight against Jefferson. Sunday league game. They open up Thursday night league tomorrow night. I don't think that one's at Monona.
Oh, okay.
It's at Monona. Yep. And then they play home against Stoughton on Sunday, and then at Cambridge on
Monday.
4 games this week. We'll have a lot to talk about on the 11th.
Yeah, but they play at the high school in Cambridge. I wish Utica sucks, but I'd rather go there. Can you drink at the Cambridge?
I don't think so.
Did we talk about that
We did.
Last weekend?
I think the reason Cambridge, and I don't know, if anybody from Cambridge is listening to this, we'd love to know. But
yeah, please.
Don't really know why they play in Utica. My only guess is because they can sell beer out there, and again, that's one of the major fundraisers for hometown baseball is concessions.
Yep.
So they play out in Utica, and Cambridge is not a bad team this year either. They got some players out there, so they got
nobody's super bad in the league this year.
No, it doesn't seem like it.
Deerfield's gone.
Deerfield's gone. They've got
anybody listening in Deerfield. You guys shit the bed.
Yeah, big time. But they got 4 tough games this week. Hopefully, win a couple of them and see what happens. But
I'm anxious to see what Stoughton looks like.
They're going to be good. Obviously, they're going to be very good. We got a chance to see them exhibition against Utica about a month and a half ago now. They played really cold day. Bryant and I went up there and watched them play. Yeah, that was fun. Went up to see basically just to see Coburn play, but Stoughton looked good already in April, so I can't imagine what they're going to look like Memorial Day. We'll see.
Yeah.
But, hopefully everybody comes out, watches the game, heads down to the decoy, watches morning days, and then heads down to see heavy petters the Baron.
Yeah. Sounds like a great weekend.
It's going to be fantastic.
In the future, what are we going to be trying to do? What kind of guests are we going to try to have on here?
We're going to be down to Decoy June 11th.
Okay.
We're going to talk to John about some of the changes they've made out to Decoy and what he's looking forward to out there. And then we're going to bring on President of the Lions Club to talk about the 4th of July.
Oh yeah.
And then July 2nd. We'll be at the Town Country Club with our Tobacco Days program. Hopefully have a 2-parter that night.
I think we're still working on...
We're still working on Dan Riley.
Did you guys talk to him?
We did a little bit on Sunday, yeah.
What do you have to say?
I think the general consensus was he was definitely open to it.
He's open to it, but he's not a technology
person.
He's very old school, and he can't make it July 2nd. That's the one thing he did tell me. It's Marsh's birthday, so
that's fine.
He's got to take his wife out there. But
we will definitely work around his schedule.
He's going to have the haunted house this year, though.
That's right.
He did bring up that they're bringing the haunted house back in October, and we kind of talked about maybe having having him on there.
Around that time?
Somewhere in that time. And
Yep.
one of the things we wanted to talk to Dan about was obviously the history of tobacco, kind of a lead into tobacco days. You know, what's the history of tobacco around here, the farming of it, what it means to Edgerton.
Just the changes that he's seen over the year have got to be a ton. Just the technology that's gone into it, how you harvest now as compared to back then.
Planting,
picking,
you know, the whole 9 yards. So yeah, he was definitely open to it. Obviously, we talked to him about what we're trying to do with this podcast.
Yeah.
He was extremely excited about
the way you get great insight too on like the history of tobacco days.
Yeah,
as a whole.
Sure.
Like my God.
When did Tobacco Day start? Do we even know?
Is it 40 years? Is it 40 years this year?
I thought it was like 70.
Oh, it's not.
4 or 75.
That's the
like
Lions
that.
Club 4th of July celebration.
Okay, so I'm getting mine confused, but I mean that thing has been around for.
Quinn, when was it like 25? Wasn't it 25 years when you like had the wagon? Like you were 16 maybe? Was that like 25 or 30 years?
When I was on the bike. I was
Remember-
in 5th grade for that.
Remember, because we had to take people home on Sunday. Your dad was still out there. Buck Lane was still out late on a Sunday. Late. He must have had Monday off.
Yeah.
Yeah, so those are.
We usually
Which
take
most people,
most
yeah,
people do now.
you should try to take Monday after Tobacco Days
If
off.
you're from Edgerton and you've never experienced
Sunday.
the closing of Tobacco Day ceremonies
it's a lot of fun.
at
Oh, yeah.
the Baron,
Yeah.
it's not the one year we did at the Decoy. I'm sure it's down at the Baron again this year. But
Oh, yeah.
if you've never experienced that, seeing Dan Riley get on the bar, sing Alma Mater and Loyalty, and having 60 years worth of classes all singing it together,
Yep.
it's one of the coolest things about Tobacco Days.
We did do it at the Decoy one year. Was that because the Baron was under construction?
It was.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yep.
okay. Well, yeah, I mean, I wish we had some show notes to figure out when the first Tobacco Day was, but I'm sure we'll be prepped by the time that episode
Absolutely.
comes.
And it'd be, just leading into July 4th. And, I mean, my God, going back to the positive feedback we've had from the community, that Friday night meeting we had after our first podcast, just talking about what we'd heard, the number of people that have viewed our Facebook page, looked at the
we
website.
appreciate it. We definitely do. Thank you so much.
Watched the podcast. I mean, just to think that 2,000 people have looked at Facebook.
It's amazing. Keep it coming, too.
It's over
Keep it
300
going.
people have watched it on YouTube. I mean, thank you for your support. I hope to really keep this thing going. We're also going to be looking at making T-shirts.
Yeah.
And partnering with Tobacco Days with some can koozies and whatnot in the future here to some of the equipment that we'd like to get in the future, and thank you.
Yeah,
Who we got for guests coming up? Like we got the fireworks dude.
Fireworks and John in July, and then it's going to be Tobacco Days committee. Steve Quam's going to come on and talk about the Pottery Festival that's joining with Tobacco Days and the softball tournament.
Okay.
And then I think Chad's trying to set up something with Jim Raymond and
Yep.
Evan Sayer and Shelley Shield. Tom Sayer. I'm sorry.
yeah.
Tom Sayer.
So we got a lot of Tobacco Days stuff going on. And
And who else do we want? We need Wayne.
We need
Wayno's definitely
We should probably get Dan Witt up here, talk
Witt,
about some
yep.
Club Raven stuff, and he's been around forever
he's been
too.
around for a long time. We'll just keep reevaluating, as after the Tobacco Days one.
And as we move from bar to bar, obviously, first go at this with Terry tonight. She's great down here.
Yeah.
What they've done down here to get people to come back in here, and having Gas Can Alley down here Saturday night, Crud and Carry. I mean, Gas Can Alley was amazing.
Yeah.
They really were. They put on a great show.
Crud would be a good one to get.
Crud would
down
be an
here
awesome one to
eventually.
get.
Yes.
I mean, he's got a lot of history of a lot of things around here.
Oh, yeah.
So.
Definitely getting the bar owners to come on and use it as a platform to promote yourself.
And really, anybody
just a
else
little
that
bit.
wants to come on, just
Give us a
send us an
holler.
email or send us a holler, and if you want to promote whatever you got going on, we certainly will do that.
Definitely
for you,
want to
so.
get when we get towards Christmas, the gifts for kids.
Yeah.
and all the charity drives that people
Right.
have going on.
We should come up with maybe like events going on, too, like within the when we're gonna do the pod,
Yeah,
like,
We're
what's
trying
coming
our
up.
best to keep a schedule and keeping everybody updated at a timely manner. It's just evolving.
Chad's got on our website tobaccocity.us. Chad's put together a calendar of events.
Okay.
So anybody that's got events that wants it to be seen, we can throw it on our Facebook page. We can throw it on the website. Definitely want to promote you, however that is.
Yep.
Sure.
You know, and that's what we want to do. So let's get those dates in, and we'll get those people on. That's going to help.
Yep. All right, man. Well, I don't know how long we went, but it doesn't really matter.
Doesn't really
So,
matter. Part
Tatter,
2.
thanks for coming on.
Absolutely.
And, like I said, we'll keep everybody posted when the next episode's going to be. So, cheers, boys.
Cheers.
All right.
My home is where tobacco grows, near cornrows and Olo grows. That's where I will be tonight, in that old tobacco town. Tobacco town, tobacco town. Think I'll head on down to Tobacco Town. Met my wife in Deegan's store, gonna take her out once more. Driving down to last night, in that old tobacco town. Tobacco town, tobacco town. Think I'll head on down to Tobacco Town. Grab a stool and get some grub. Gonna hang out at the pub. We'll sing and dance all night, in that old tobacco town. Tobacco town, tobacco town, tobacco town.